Perched high above the ocean swell in Matanzas, Chile, La Negrilla House sits like a quiet spectator along the coastal ridge. Designed by the architectural firm Croxatto y Opazo Arquitectos and completed in 2026, this single-family retreat rests 164 feet, 50 meters above sea level, suspended between the rugged topography of the Chilean coastline and the vast horizon of the Pacific Ocean. The architecture is a masterclass in responding to landscape, a delicate balance of dark charred timber, warm pine interiors, and sweeping glass panels that capture the ever-changing light of the coast. As we move through this 152 square meter home, the design reveals itself not just as a shelter, but as an elevated viewing platform crafted entirely from timber, perfectly tuned to the rhythm of wind, tide, and terrain. From directly overhead, the home presents itself as a long, slender, dark volume, hugging the natural contour of the hill. A wooden driveway platform extends out from the winding coastal road, accommodating vehicular parking before giving way to the dark roof structure. The building footprint bends subtly, mimicking the natural slope while preserving the surrounding native flora. This aerial perspective highlights the core design intent, minimizing soil disruption by stepping the building along the topography rather than flattening the earth. The dark roof finish helps the structure blend effortlessly into the muted greens and earth tones of the Chilean coastal ridge. Pulling back to take in the surrounding geography, the building's orientation becomes immediately clear. The elongated timber form stretches directly toward the sea, pointing like a compass needle toward the mouth of the river and the sweeping black sand beach of Matanzas below. Arrival begins on the upper wooden decking platform, where vehicular access meets the domestic threshold. From this elevated entry point, the house shields its interior from the coastal winds, while offering an unbroken view of the surf rolling onto the shore below. Descending along the hillside path reveals the dual material palette defining the exterior structure. The upper volume, wrapped in vertical, dark-stained pine louvers, sits atop a continuous perimeter skirt of lighter, natural-toned wood decking. The entire structure hovers above the steep ground on slender timber pillars. This raised foundation allows wind and surface runoff to pass freely beneath, leaving the fragile hillside ecology intact, while elevating the living spaces into prime light and sea breezes. Looking up from further down the slope, the house takes on a dramatic, ship-like quality. The northern volume thrusts out over the hillside, cantilevered above a lower deck platform, where an open balcony allows one to step right out into the ocean air. Here, the rhythm of dark vertical cladding creates depth and shadow against the blue sky. The lower timber balustrade anchors the base, creating a safe, enveloped outdoor terrace that feels both exposed to the dramatic elements and securely cradled by the architecture. Along the western flank, the facade opens up into an extensive, rhythmic colonnade of dark timber mullions. Glass panels set behind these vertical slats capture reflections of the surrounding hills, softening the building's edge against the landscape. The architects deliberately modulated the vertical timber spacing to control solar gain and coastal winds without sacrificing views. As daylight shifts, long, linear shadows sweep across the wooden deck skirt below, reinforcing the connection between the structure and its natural context. As dusk approaches, the building transforms into a glowing lantern on the ridge. Looking across the wild grass and yellow blossoms of the cliffside, warm light spills out from the interior through the dark timber framing. The quiet, understated dark finish of the exterior cladding allows the house to recede into the darkening sky, leaving only the inviting golden interior visible from afar. Below, the vast expanse of the ocean and the distant coastal lights establish a peaceful, secluded atmosphere. Stepping onto the covered exterior deck walkway reveals the tactile detail of the home's perimeter circulation. Beneath a dark, timber-clad ceiling, wide glass panes align with fine wire mesh safety netting, allowing unfiltered ocean breezes to move through while maintaining safety along the drop-off. This semi-outdoor corridor acts as a climate buffer, shading the interior from harsh afternoon sun while offering an intimate passage between the internal rooms and the open air. The timber floorboards underfoot echo the warmth of the internal living spaces just beyond the glass. Moving inside, the interior embraces a light, airy palette dominated by warm, pale timber ceilings and floors. The kitchen island, finished in muted sage tones with a white marble countertop, forms a central hub for social gathering, alongside a crafted wooden dining table surrounded by cane-backed chairs. Floor-to-ceiling glass doors flood the space with natural morning light and draw the eye along the exterior timber slats outside. A long central corridor pulls sightlines deep into the private bedroom quarters, creating an intuitive, linear flow throughout the home. At the far northern tip of the open layout lies the main living pavilion. Surrounded on two sides by expansive floor-to-ceiling glass, this space functions as an indoor observation deck looking out over the coastline. A compact black wood-burning fireplace stands near the corner, providing warmth during cool coastal evenings. Low-profile furniture, including a soft tufted daybed, ottoman poufs, and a herringbone coffee table, keeps the horizon completely unobstructed, ensuring the ocean remains the focal point from every seat. Settling onto the tufted daybed by the corner window, the boundary between inside and outside virtually disappears. The warm, pale wood flooring and vertical timber wall panels frame an uninterrupted panoramic view of the Pacific horizon and the dramatic black sand shoreline. Late afternoon sunlight washes over the interior timber surfaces, filling the room with a calm, meditative ambiance. It is a quiet retreat designed specifically for contemplating the vastness of the sea in complete comfort. Returning outside to inspect the building envelope, the roof design reveals its subtle pitch and functional details. Black metal chimneys puncture the dark-stained timber roof membrane, serving the interior fireplaces and ventilation systems. Integrated timber planter boxes lined along the retaining wall feature hardy native coastal shrubs and flowers. These green pockets ground the dark structure, blending the man-made platform naturally into the surrounding wild ground cover. In the evening, the house shines with a soft, uniform warmth against the twilight sky. Full-height glass walls cast a lantern-like glow across the lower deck, where a figure stands, taking in the cool night air. The contrast between the structural black framework and the luminous timber-clad interiors emphasizes the home's layered design. Resting safely on its stilted supports, the building feels like a lightweight shelter floating quietly above the terrain. From a broader perspective along the cliffside, the full length of the home is on display as dusk settles over Matanzas. The vertical timber louvers rhythmically break up the interior glow, creating a striking pattern of light and shadow along the elevation. The lower natural wood band wraps seamlessly around the base, anchoring the glowing upper level to the dark stilts beneath. The structure demonstrates how thoughtful timber construction can achieve both bold architectural presence and deep harmony with the environment. An aerial dusk view captures the solitary house balanced along the steep coastal ridge. Below in the valley, scattered lights from neighboring homes flicker, while the Pacific Ocean stretches out to meet the darkening horizon. The house acts as a silent guardian over the valley, its linear form echoing the ridgeline, while providing a warm, protected haven from the turbulent coastal elements. Examining the lower architectural floor plan, designated as Nivel 1, the spatial organization reveals its functional simplicity. This lower deck level houses the open-air quincho barbecue area and exterior terrace, linked directly to the terrain and circulation staircases. By placing covered outdoor entertainment areas on this lower level, the architects took full advantage of the sheltered pocket beneath the main living volume, protecting gatherings from strong coastal gusts. The main floor plan, Nivel 2, lays out the primary residential spaces along a single linear spine. Entry leads directly into the open-plan living, dining, and kitchen zone at the northern end, while 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms are arranged sequentially along the private southern wing. A continuous exterior walkway wraps the western glass facade, ensuring every interior room enjoys direct access to natural ventilation and ocean views while maintaining clear spatial efficiency. The eastern elevation drawing illustrates how the building hugs the natural slope of the hill. The long, gently sloping roofline steps downward, following the incline from the rear entrance toward the cantilevered front tip. This profile demonstrates the structural system of repetitive timber posts and foundation footings, designed to minimize site excavation while maintaining structural rigidity against seismic and wind loads. The northern elevation drawing highlights the bold frontal aspect of the house. The upper living volume projects out over the timber terrace below, framed by diagonal bracing struts anchored into the slope. This drawing highlights the interplay between solid timber cladding, open glass apertures, and protective overhangs designed to shield the living area from harsh weather while framing the ocean view. The western elevation drawing displays the full dramatic expanse of the seaward facade. A continuous rhythm of vertical louvers extends across the entire upper story, supported by the angled deck platform below. This elevation emphasizes the unified aesthetic of the home, where structural repetition creates a calm, cohesive facade that echoes the vertical lines of coastal trees and cliff faces. Cross-sections A, B, and C reveal the internal spatial height variations and stilt foundation design across different points of the building footprint. The sections demonstrate how the interior ceiling heights adjust relative to the terrain slope, creating intimate bedroom spaces near the rear and lofty, open communal areas near the front. The longitudinal section, Court D, traces the continuous flow of space from the rear bedrooms down into the main living room and lower terrace. This drawing clearly shows how the floor levels step down along the hillside grade, ensuring that every space within the 152 square meter home maintains an uninterrupted visual connection to the sea. La Negrilla House stands as a testament to the power of thoughtful, site-specific architecture. By choosing wood as both structure and finish, Croxatto and Opazo Arquitectos created a residence that does not fight its environment, but rather belongs to it. From its elevated vantage point, 50 meters above the Pacific, the home offers a quiet, light-filled sanctuary where human shelter and the dramatic wilderness of the Chilean coast exist in effortless harmony.